Samsung's cameras can do a lot, so I want to give you the best start you possibly can have to get the best photos and videos you can capture using your Samsung smartphone. So here's the best settings you will need. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. I've put together a list of 10 things and settings I think you should be changing to get the best experience out of your Samsung smartphone when it comes to camera. So let's dive into the settings and kick things off with my first one, shot suggestions. This is a crucial one because the way this works is it's going to give you an on-screen guide to capture the best possible version of the photo you can. And I don't necessarily mean like it's boosting colors or saturation. I mean, it's going to line up for you the best composition. If you've got something you're taking a picture of, you can line it up in the most aesthetically pleasing way possible. It uses a bit of AI, at least that's what they said when it launched on the Galaxy S10, to help frame it up for you and then help you position it with a marker on the screen. Whole point is to help keep your photos straight and not crooked, so you're taking the best possible composed photo you can. I said possible. It used to be called Smart Composition Guide, but now it's just simply shot suggestions. The next one is straight underneath that, and it's a bit of a controversial one. A lot of people tell you to turn this off, but it's Scene Optimizer. Within here, a lot of people say, turn Scene Optimizer off. It makes the photos look fake. But I think if you're just capturing photos on your phone and uploading them to social media, it's a great setting to have on. The way it works is it recognizes the scene that you're taking a photo of, and it's got some profiles that it sort of applies to it to help boost certain things. So if it's to do with food, or if it's to do with dark scenes, or if you're in a landscape photo, it optimizes it specifically for the scene that you're capturing. A lot of people tell me, don't turn this on. No, I think it's better off having it on because most people will try and edit the photo later anyway. So you may as well just let the phone do it for you. Turn it on in the settings. As far as the quality optimization goes, it depends. Again, the speed that you want to capture with or how you want to capture. Minimum will have no optimization, which means the camera is going to be ready to go pretty quickly. But if you want to have the full optimization, the full quality applied to it, just leave it at maximum. It's not a big deal. The next one kind of goes with shot suggestions, and it's called grid lines. So if you go down and go to composition guide, you've got grid lines and level. The grid lines are effectively this. So the sort of grid that sort of you see on the screen there, it's all designed around the rule of thirds when it comes to photography and videography. You want to have things positioned in the grid within this sort of rule of thirds sort of rule. I could say rule a bit more. The level is very similar. The level applies to not the photo app, because that's got its own thing when it comes to shot suggestions, but modes outside of that. So if I go to composition guide here, grid lines and level, the way that's going to work is when I'm, let's say, in video mode, there is going to be a little level icon that you can see in there with the video. And even in other modes like dual recording, that's the level that's sort of coming into play. Whereas without that, you don't have it. It just helps keeping the video sort of straight or the photo straight so you don't get a crooked photo. I would go in and turn both of those on just because I think that, again, it's all about helping you capture the best possible version of your photo. Number 4 is to do with sort of the way it saves photos. So you've got a toggle here, high efficiency pictures. Now, the whole purpose of this is it's meant to sort of compress the photo into a different format to help save storage space. So if you get the base storage and you don't want the photos taking up as much room because you capture a lot, this is a great toggle to have on. The only thing to note with this one is that some apps and websites do not support the high efficiency pictures format. So it might not upload perfectly to some social media websites. However, I think now it's 2025. A lot of people are sort of aware of this toggle now and know that these format pictures do exist. So I don't think it's going to be as much of a problem. Anyway, it's just a toggle that you can turn on. And if you're worried and concerned about storage space, it's a good place to go. I'm not worried though. Sticking with photos and jumping out of the settings and going into the camera itself, please only use the aspect ratio 3:4, or when it's rotated into landscape, 4:3. It absolutely pains me to see people who switch over to full, especially, because what they think is happening is they're capturing more of the shot because it's all over the screen. That's incorrect. What it's actually doing is cropping in on the sensor and you're capturing less. So you're better off keeping it at 3x4 because that is the full sensor size. So you're getting the full resolution and the full amount of detail. If, for whatever reason, you want that sort of full screen experience, take the photo in 3x4 and then just go and crop it in later because at least you still have the 3x4 option there to go back to. Or capture it in a higher resolution. Caption 200 megapixel, and then again, pinch in because you still have more resolution to play with that way. But honestly, the best way to capture is that 3x4. It just looks better. Now we're breaking out of photos and switching over to video. Let's do some settings first. So if we go back into the settings here and go down to some of the video options, here it is here, videos. Basically, I'm just going to get you to focus on all three of these here. So first one, auto FPS. Now there's three options. You've got off, 30 FPS videos only, or 30 and 60. Auto FPS, the way it works is in lower light conditions, it'll recognize that it needs more light coming into the sensor and adjust the frame rate to optimize for more light. So if it's shooting in 30, but it needs to be like 15 to let more light in, it will go as low as 15. Now you have the option to have it be just 30. So if you have 60 FPS chosen, it won't touch it, or 30 and 60. So if you have got 60 FPS turned on, it will switch lower to make sure more light comes in to get your brighter video. I prefer 30. One, I only really use 30 with my videos, but also if I intentionally choose 60, I want it capturing at 60. I want it to be that fast burst of capture as opposed to having it be slowed down or lowered down just to let more light in. I prefer not to worry about that. So I leave it at 30. The next toggle immediately under that, and you'll find that this is probably on by default, is video stabilization. Again, video stabilization is great to have because effectively the way it's going to work is it'll stabilize your videos. You prefer to have stable footage than unstable footage. So this will automatically apply video stabilization to your videos. And it does it by just predicting where you're going next, effectively. Video digital image stabilization is kind of the term, and this is a toggle to leave it on. So just leave it on. Then we go into advanced video options. Here we have a lot. It can be overwhelming. That's why it's advanced. But I just want to help you with some of the toggles you might want to use. If, for whatever reason, you just want to capture videos and not think about it, use H.264. Most compatible, nothing else to worry about. You pick up your phone, you capture video, done. If for whatever reason though, you want a bit more control or a bit more quality out of your video, HEVC. It's kind of like the high efficiency image format that I showed you before, except with video. But flicking to this, Samsung give you more options. So the first one is high bitrate videos. So bitrate will effectively just be the data that it captures. So it will capture more, meaning effectively you get more detail or more data out of the video, better playback, and also better editing later. They are quite a bit larger. So if you do use this, just be wary of it, that it might use more storage space. HDR, this is a toggle that's within the video itself. So you can see there's a HDR toggle. Basically, it's just going to shoot at 10-bit. So you'll get a better sort of dynamic range out of it and more sort of colors and dynamic range. God, I'm just repeating myself a lot today. So you can toggle that on. I would just leave the toggle on because you can toggle it off in the camera. Same with log. Log you can have in both video and pro video modes or just pro video. But I would just leave the log toggle on too, again, because when you go into here, they're just toggles that you can flick on and off at your leisure, as opposed to having to always go into the settings. So turn them on once, and then you can activate them here anytime you like. The way log works is it's basically a flat picture profile where it will capture pretty much no color, and then you can grade the color yourself because it actually keeps and preserves the detail in the video, and then you can apply the color yourself. And if you are shooting video on your phone and you want the best possible output, the resolution and frame rate to choose is 4K and 30. That is the best dynamic range, the best stabilization, the best output that the phone will give you. Everything has been optimized for that frame rate and resolution. You can, of course, go up to 8K with 30 or 4K at 60, or even if you flick it over to Pro Video mode, you've got 8K 24 and 4K 120, depending on your phone. But I would say the best to stick with is 4K 30. It's just going to give you the best playback possible later with the best dynamic range and stabilization, as I said. And then the last thing to talk through when it comes to both photos and videos is Camera Assistant. If you do not have Camera Assistant on your phone, get a phone that does, because it is just so good at optimizing your experience. Couple of things to turn off and on. Turn off auto lens switching. When this is toggled on and it's on by default, the camera will determine which camera to use. So if you flick to the 5x camera on the Ultra, but it doesn't think there's enough light for the 5x camera, it'll keep the 3x camera activated. No. You want it to be the camera you choose. So turn this off, and then you have control over when you select 5x, it will be the 5x camera. So turn that off. There's lots of other things in here as well, but there's two that relate to video that I just want to show you. First is audio monitoring. With this toggled on, if you are sort of filming video with your phone and you want to monitor the sound that's picking up, you can hook up Bluetooth headphones or just wired headphones even, and you can hear back what the phone is capturing. That way, you can monitor the audio levels. If something's too loud or too soft, you can go in and tweak it and control it. And the next one here is save videos to external storage. So if you have, just had one next to me here, an SSD, you can plug this SSD in, and then the phone will actually automatically save the videos directly to here as opposed to the internal storage. Brings us back to the micro SD card days, except with a lot better quality storage. So this could be a really nice option if you're capturing a lot of stuff on your phone. It goes to here. So look, these are the best camera settings that I think you should turn on. If you got anything out of this, or you have any extra settings that you think our viewers might like, drop them in the comments below. Hit subscribe to SamMobile TV whilst you're down there, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.